Academic writing is a formal piece of work that is clear, concise, structured, and backed up by evidence. Here are my top tips on how to write academically. First, be sure you understand the assignment. Academic writing should have a purpose. This may be a critique of other people's research, a presentation of your own work, or simply background information on a subject. Decide what your purpose is and make sure you tailor the work to your intended audience. In addition, it is important to use the correct format style and referencing style for your work. Second, point of view. Most academic pieces of writing should be written in the third person, as the aim is to educate rather than give an opinion. First person can be used in reflective writing or when using personal examples to support claims you've made in an essay. Third, plan. Make an outline and know what you're going to write about before you start. If your report requires an argument, then make sure this is fully developed before you begin writing. This will make it easier to express your arguments in a logical manner. Fourth, language. Write in a formal tone and with clarity. You should try to avoid ambiguity in your work. So in order to communicate complex ideas, you need to select the words you use for their accuracy, and a thesaurus can help with this. Avoid shortened words for terms such as wouldn't instead of would not, and also avoid casual words and phrases. Correct grammar and punctuation is also important, as it helps to make sure that your meaning is understood. Finally, leave time for proofreading. It is usually best to leave a couple of days between finishing your writing and coming back to proofread it, as you'll be more likely to spot mistakes this way. Check for grammar, spelling, coherence and style, and also check that your references are properly cited.
A good report requires you to adhere to specific academic standards. Tone refers to the writer's voice in a written work. It's what the reader might perceive as the writer's attitude, bias, or personality. An academic report doesn't need to be complicated nor lacking in style. Rather, it can be both engaging and clear. But make sure to stay away from emotional and inflammatory language, so words like heartbreaking, starving, terrible, sickening should not be included in an academic report. To set an objective tone in your report, you should speak as an objective narrator. This means that everything you say must be unbiased, scholarly, and supported by evidence. Strong expressions of opinion and attitude should be avoided. Differences in arguments should be presented in a professional, non-combative manner. Also, try to avoid using oversweeping adjectives such as outstanding and obvious, strong adverbs such as really and clearly, and broad generalizations such as always and never. As for the formality in writing, a scholarly voice needs to be communicated by avoiding certain types of colloquial or informal language such as slang terms, text message, or SMS spellings and cliches, as they have no place in academic writing. Eliminate all filler and needless words. Limit the use of abbreviations, so avoid contractions and always write full forms. Casual expressions may be appropriate in personal emails, but they are not in research papers and reports. So refrain from using personal or familiar language. Do not directly address the reader and do not ask rhetorical questions. Also, personal pronouns do not fit into an objective report. The use of the passive voice will allow you to foreground what was done rather than who did it, thus making the writing less personal and more formal. Also, including discipline-specific terminology in your report will add to its technicality and formality.